That was a perfectly stupid ending to a perfectly stupid Saints season. Has Mickey Loomis traded Sean Payton yet? Welcome to the 2023 Saints offseason, baby, complete with a spicy new intro. Thomas, give the people the heat.
Hey, fellas, this is Greg Williams, Dr. Heat. I get my ass ripped for having too many zero blitzes, and some of those I'd love to have back. But you're all shit on the podcast. I can't believe it. It pales what I do on a zero blitz in comparison to some of the bad life choices that Andrew, Ralph, Dave, and Kevin make. Are you kidding me? We can't make better choices on what we say and do and how we live our life, and now it's on podcasts? Well, let's get this shit straightened out, and let's do a better job for everybody out there who listens to that dumbass shit that you guys are talking about. Enjoy it. Signing off, Greg Williams.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch and remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Smash that like button on YouTube and become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hours and get 2 months for free. If you ever wonder what we spend the money on, you just gotta. That's it. We spend the money on Thomas and Cameo.
We're bringing the heat.
Kill the head, and the pod will die.
That's right. So remember, we are now doing the MVP contest for people who watch and donate or subscribe during the live stream. Anyone who donates any amount during the show each week gets entered into a drawing at the end of the season for Saints Happy Hour and Smoke Monday t-shirts. The person who donates the most each week gets entered into our drawing to win 2 Saints game tickets for 2023. And the person who donates the most each week gets to have a 30-second video of themselves giving their Saints hot take played the following week. Thomas, do we have any videos this week?
Nope. Cook didn't send me any, unfortunately.
All right, what are we drinking? I'm drinking Love Street Blonde. The Saints losing, the winning streak ended, so I ran out of Nikolai's beer.
I am drinking. Oh wait, is Dave back? Hang on, let me.
I'm back.
All right, I'm drinking. Nicola finally sent me the regular stuff and the IPA, so I'm going to drink both. These are going to be my first beers in probably 2 years.
Wow!
So I'm drinking the Tears of a Falcon first.
Wow!
It is not a twist top. Nicola told me. I've got my trusty gimmick here. Pop this open. So I'm going to be tasting them live on air.
Gimmick is called
you guys go ahead.
Okay, a gimmick is called a bottle opener.
Yeah.
Look, hey, buddy, pour that into a glass. Don't drink that out of the bottle.
Don't?
No, pour that into a glass, please. Thank you.
All right, hang on. All right, well, go ahead.
Ooh, I'm gonna get my wife to send him a Saints season survival mug.
Well, I'm doing dry January as I do every January.
I am drinking, actually, Andrew will be upset. I am drinking some straight up with ice Smith and Cross.
Ooh.
Wow. And it is delicious.
Is that the 57% one, the strong one?
Yeah. And I was drinking earlier at a Mardi Gras crew meeting, so it's going to be an interesting night, especially with my this is my first time back since the Tulane game, since the Cotton Bowl.
Oh yeah,
we'll get into that later. Ralph and I said we'll save that for later at the end of the podcast.
Save what, man?
Just the Tulane talk. I'm doing like Tulane 15 minutes on Tulane, and I don't. That way, if you're all the Tulane fans,
your time is up, man. It's already over, man.
All the Tulane fans can wait till the end of the podcast.
We're done.
But I apologize if my internet sucks today. I don't know what's going on. I hope it's okay. Kevin.
No, there's some stuff floating in the head.
Sediment. That's normal.
Sediment. Okay.
That's normal.
All right. Smells good.
Ideally, you. Oh, 50, my wife just texted me. TCU is losing 7-52. My wife even knows what the score see you. Ever since this Cotton Bowl, my wife has been more into
football. Here's the thing. We will forgive
Hold on, Kevin. What do you think of the beer?
He gives a thumbs up.
The Tears of a Falcon, I like it. Tears of a Falcon, I like it.
It's really good. My wife,
there's like a little bit of fruitiness to it, I think.
Yeah, that's
my wife loves it. I like it too. No, I like it too. It's really Nikolai. Like he's killing it. He knows what he's doing. You know.
By the way, Nikolai got to go to the game on Sunday, huh, Andrew?
He did.
Yeah, that's right. Courtesy of Andrew. Here's the thing, Dave. We will forgive you for having horrible internet, but I will not forgive the Saints' horrible offense and how they finished that horrible season. I feel like Dennis Allen, if he's a jerk, and if he fires Pete Carmichael, he will call him to his office and just play the fourth down where Kamara gets stuffed over and over again and say, what the bleep is this? Get out. But Dennis Allen, he's saying, he's going to wait to make some changes if they do. Thomas, play that sound.
Look, we know in the business of pro football, there's always change. So there'll be change. To what extent? I think, those are decisions that we're going to have to come up with over the next week or two.
You're talking about roster changes, but what about potential coaching changes after you largely kept?
Yeah, I think again, like I just said, we're going to evaluate everything, and so nobody's making any decisions on anything 30 minutes after we walked off the field.
Dave, does Pete Carmichael did he deserve 30 minutes? I feel like it's questionable.
Yeah, there's going to be I think that's what is kind of alluding to with that question. I think she had certain things in mind and she was maybe trying get that out of Dennis Allen. Obviously, Dennis Allen's not going to come out and say, "Hey, yeah, next week Pete Carmichael's going to be gone." Look out for that.
Looking at his watch was a nice touch, by the way.
Yeah. I listen to Dennis Allen when I go to the Saints games on my way home. That's what I do in my 15-minute ride home from the Dome.
You not crashed your vehicle then?
I listen to the post-game press conference, and it lines up with the time that Dennis Allen is out there, and it's just tough to. He says so much without saying anything at all, and it's wonderful. Like it's very he could be a good politician. It's a lot of politicians speak. And I know that like Sean Payton didn't say anything either, but he said nothing by saying nothing. Like he was short and terse, and I guess I just prefer that. I'd rather him say next question. I'm not even going to answer. I'm not even going to dignify your question with an answer, as opposed to spending 5 minutes blabbering on with nonsense. Yet still not answering the question.
Catherine, it was pretty terrible, wasn't it?
At least save me the time. At least have the respect to save me the time. And Sean Payton had the respect to save us our time. If you didn't want to answer a question, you just answer the question.
Stop,
Kevin. Here's the thing.
Let's talk about Pete Carmichael. That was the point of your question. Let's get into it. I mean, he's. I don't know.
They're not gonna. Andrew, he's
at the start of this game. I almost texted you guys like after the first drive.
I thought the Saints were going to house Carolina.
They were moving downfield like a hot knife through butter. I thought I was like, oh, of course. Play their best fucking football in the last week of the season. Right. It's going to be like 52-7. We're going to be like, where the hell was this all the last 17 weeks? I was about to like make some snarky tweet about how it takes the Saints 17 weeks to get warmed up. And then they go out on the second drive. They missed the field goal. Even if they had gotten points, that would have been great. Then
I had an
interception or whatever, and it all went back. Then they just went right back to just.
I had a tweet loaded up in drafts after that first drive, Andrew.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton,
see your drafts, by the way.
Andy Dalton QB1 2023. I had it in the drafts and I had it in the chamber ready to go.
I would pay good money to see Ralph Malbrough's unsent draft tweets. There are probably some cancelable, arrestable offenses.
That's what I might do. What I might do, we might have like we could have a patrons level, and like you can come in like a
I don't know if there's enough money
secure
for that.
location, and you can read all my tweets that are in drafts. You can't bring a phone or audio. You just get to read them.
I mean, there's been so many times when you've like wanted to tweet something, and you tell Andrew what you're going to tweet, and Andrew has to like talk you off of the
don't do that.
edge.
Don't do that.
I've saved Ralph from himself too many times to count.
Right.
You know, the thing that's tough for me with Pete Carmichael is, and I'm not making excuses for him because I think the way he used Kamara, you know, the way that this offense was for the play calling, the situational awareness. I mean, Ralph, you made the point, like going for it on 4th and 1 and running it up the middle when your offensive linemen are Landon Young, you know, Josh Andrews,
making it rain,
and James Hurst, you know, so at guard. So, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of evidence that you can point to say, hey, Pete Carmichael needs to be out of here. And yet, Taysom Hill had the best year of his career. Like, in some ways, like, Pete Carmichael unlocked Taysom Hill, and at 35 years old, Andy Dalton had one of the best years of his career. I mean, it wasn't great. I mean, Andy Dalton wasn't great, but by Andy Dalton standards, you know, he was up there. He had a career year pretty much. It was second best year of his career. So, like, in some ways, and then with the injuries to Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry and the injuries up front to the offensive line, in some ways, man, it's tough. Like, I think you have to make a call, and I believe that moving on from Pete Carmichael is probably the right one. But I am conflicted because I'm like, man, what was he supposed to do with this kit of parts? I think that, you know, this personnel is terrible. And I thought one thing that, you know, as excited as we get about Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave, and they're both awesome. They really are. They're awesome receivers, and I'm excited about the future with them. Dennis Allen had a comment that I thought was really interesting. And he said, you know, one of the biggest issues that we had this year is with the injuries to Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry, we just didn't have receivers that consistently caught contested balls. And it immediately took me back to Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson and Olave and just the drop
Cincinnati
passes. In the red zone. And they dropped a lot of 50-50 balls. And, you know, as good as Olave was, we talked about his lack of play strength and his lack of ability after the catch. And, you know, those throws in tight windows where he wasn't coming down with those balls. And you know, like, Michael Thomas's injury killed this team. And offensively, like, a lot was riding on him.
Second year in a row.
A lot's been riding on Michael Thomas the last 3 years, and they paid him a lot of money to basically not play. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's easy to just kind of dismiss, like, no excuses. And I get that, but, like, I don't look. That's the NFL, right? You get injuries, and, like, do you adjust or not? And I think overall, like, Pete Carmichael didn't, and, like,
making it rain.
I think it's my God, the donations are out of control here. This is awesome.
It was.
Thank you guys. But no,
the new Greg Williams Open excited them. They're like, we need more. We need more mediocre cameos.
But I guess my point is, like, I don't know that Pete Carmichael sucks. Like, I don't know that he's a terrible coach. I mean, sometimes you're just a victim of circumstance, and so it's tough. It's a tough situation.
Look, I think Pete Carmichael is probably in the top half of even now is in maybe the top half of offensive coordinators. I mean,
the offense does feel stale, you know.
Yeah,
it does, but I just. I don't know. I've been a kind of a defender of Pete Carmichael the whole time, and again, I've always said, you know,
Pete Stan.
Yeah, I am a little bit of a Pete Stan, and my argument has always been Pete Carmichael was here and led the offenses during the greatest years, and so. What's changed? I mean, has his brain changed? Has his mind changed? Has his play calling changed? I would like to think somebody like that. It only gets better. It's like wisdom, you know. It's like you only get smarter with age. Like, I think the problem is what's on the field. I think that's that's my issue. That's my defense. And the other thing is, look, but the flip side of that coin is. We know how fans feel, and I've said this before. I could see Pete Carmichael being the sacrificial lamb and being fired to show fans, hey, look, we hear you. We're going to try to do something whatever.
I don't think they're
even if he's not necessarily the problem.
I don't think they're going to, like, Pete Carmichael's been here since 2007. I don't think the Saints, even if they move on from him, which I think they will, they're not going to fire. They're going to do something really nice and be like, it's a mutual parting of the ways. Pete Carmichael is retiring.
Sure.
Like, they're going to be doing something nice. But here's my point, Kevin. And I don't know how this happened, but I went from, like, in 2015, 2016, being, people on Twitter would call me Ralph Saint of Doom, because all I did was negativity. But I'm going to spin yesterday.
Now you're throwing yourself in front of the bullets like you're a Secret Service agent for Dennis Allen, for Carmichael, for everybody.
Right. But here's the thing. I'm gonna spin.
You are the guy in the Zapruder film trying to climb onto the back of the presidential motorcade while Jackie O is scooping up her husband's head.
It's fair. It's fair. But I want to. Here's the thing. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be the Secret Service guy. I'm gonna spin it in a positive way. Yesterday, the game, because yesterday was positive. One, the Saints get a third place schedule, right?
Sure.
So that's good. Mm-hmm. So they get the third place schedule. They get a higher second round pick. Right. But also, Kevin,
not a first round pick, but
not a first round pick, but they get a higher second round pick. But here's the thing, Kevin, I think that is going to be a good thing for the Saints long term. The offensive performance yesterday, if the Saints had stomped Carolina into the ground, looked like they were going to do for the first quarter or so, it's like they move the ball, and you're like, oh my God, they're going to stomp Carolina in the ground. If they had stomped Carolina in the ground and Andy Dalton had thrown 4 touchdowns and Kamara had run for 120 and scored 3 times, maybe the Saints would have been like, oh, if we just get healthy, it's fine on offense. We just bring everybody back, run it back, Andy Dalton, QB1, and they're feeling great, and they fool themselves into thinking, stay healthy, do a couple of tweaks on offense, and we're good to go. But yesterday, because of how terrible it was in the second half, 69 yards, they only ran 4 plays on Carolina's half of the field, and that was only because Daniel Sorensen got an interception. Does it mean that they can't fool themselves, and now they're going to be more proactive in the offseason? So yesterday was actually a good thing that they can't lie to themselves.
Wow, you can really make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I'll tell you what, Ralph, that was impressive.
I'm just saying.
No, I mean, but again, like, is it Pete Carmichael's fault that Ingram doesn't get a first down, or that he fumbles games away? Is it Pete Carmichael's fault that Kamara fumbled games away? Is it his fault that Mike Thomas got injured?
Fumbled yesterday.
Yeah, that Jameis Winston broke his back and then his foot, whatever. So
Ed Block Courage Award winner.
There's a lot of blame to go on the players. I believe they led the NFL in false starts. I believe that was also a thing. So yeah, it's tough, and I could easily see like an inferior coach getting the job next year, but then they get the quarter. Let's say they draft a quarterback that's really good, and it's lightning in a bottle, and like all of a sudden that new offensive coordinator, like a lot of times it's circumstantial. So it'll be interesting to see. Like, I would not be surprised if they don't move on from Pete Carmichael, because I think Dennis Allen thinks he's a good coach, and I'm serious. Like, I'm telling you, Saints fans right now, like, I feel like it's 50-50, and I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed.
No. You know what's happened? Ralph took a dump in a blender. You're throwing some crushed ice in it, and you're hitting frappe. That's what's going on here. The two of you. You're a regular. You're a couple of regular Pontius Pilates is what's going on here. Early on in this season, when the Saints were absolute dog shit, and everybody's screaming from the hedges for Dennis Allen to be kicked out of the city. And you two guys are like, now hang on, he's probably staying. They wouldn't have put him here if they weren't going to keep him for another year, so hang on. You guys jumped in way too early on this. They're probably hanging on to him. Mickey's loyal, Miss Gale's loyal, all this other kind of stuff. No. Had you guys just waited a couple of weeks for the Saints to get a couple more wins and maybe make it look interesting in the South, you might have been able to not look like Skip Bayless version 2.0 and 3.1. You might have been able to pull that off. But instead, you've been fighting with Saints Twitter, left and right, forming new fronts on the impending Saints Twitter civil war. I'm tired of this. I'm absolutely tired of this. And now you want to sit here and tell me that the offensive coordinator, who didn't even want to work this year, who had to get coached into coming back to coach this year, you want to tell me, it's a coin flip. He might come back next year. Wouldn't surprise me. Nonsense. I say nonsense to you, good sir.
You know,
Pete Carmichael, listen, if Pete Carmichael stays and this team goes 0-2, get rid of them both. Light the whole thing on fire. Dennis Allen needs to realize that getting rid of Pete Carmichael is step one on trying to look like he might actually be a competent head football coach. Ignoring the obvious that he sucked when he was with the Raiders. Okay, but let's see. That whole press conference he had earlier today, where he looked like Kathleen Babineau Blanco during a press conference during some kind of tragedy. You were a deer in headlights, sir. You were a deer in headlights. If you want to be a leader of men, if you want to be a head coach, if you want them to hang the banner of your face up on the practice facility on Airline Drive, where you got cut your meat, do your job, this and that. You need to actually get in that podium. I don't need you to be Dennis Green. I don't need you to be Jim Mora and making sound bites for us to use ad nauseum to infinity. I just need you to get up there and say, listen, we had high expectations for the year. We thought we were going to make the playoffs. And we didn't meet that. And that falls on me, the coaching staff, some of the players. It falls on injuries. We're going to take this thing back. We're going to look at it. We're going to examine things. We're going to try and make right what went wrong.
You're literally repeating the whole press conference.
Well, I want to say this.
He didn't sound inspiring. He didn't sound inspiring. You don't get to be like Cat. I don't know about that. You don't get to be like Sean Payton and give these kind of like.
That's like asking me to pronounce name right.
I gotta say, look, if you were gonna spew venom at Pete Carmichael, this was the game to do it, no doubt about it. And
I did.
I gotta say, when I graded I rewatched that game. I think we're like not as mad as we should be because the game didn't matter and it was week 18.
That's right. Oh my God! If this game had been to get in the playoffs, Jesus.
Or honestly, Ralph, even if it was like week 7, you know what I mean? Like a humdrum game in the middle of the season, we would have been losing our minds. And like, I watched that game again, and I'm like incredulous. How did they lose?
Well,
how did they lose this game? Like, I'm still like, I'm dumbfounded.
Darnold completed 5 passes to Panthers, 2 to the Saints.
He completed 5 passes. 5.
I was sitting there.
Count them on one hand.
I was sitting there.
My bad hand.
He completed 2 to the Saints.
I was sitting there in my seat, and I'm looking up at the scoreboard, and they show the in-game stats, and they rotate through them. And I saw that, and I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "Is that correct? It says they've only thrown for like 17 yards. It was like the fourth quarter or whatever."
Unbelievable.
But like then I started to really think about it. Like, yeah, because you know why? Because Darnold was getting all of his personal yardage on the ground.
That's right.
Scrambling. He had a lot of runs.
Dave, were you having flashbacks to the Cotton Bowl?
No.
Here's the thing.
Not having flashbacks to the Cotton Bowl.
Here's the thing.
This was nothing compared to the Cotton Bowl.
Tulane, if they don't win 9 games, they should run roughshod through that.
The Cotton Bowl was an offensive display of. I mean, that was
Brad. He only completed like 7 passes for him. But I want to say this about Dennis Allen. People on Twitter got on me because I water carried. Kevin just did the rant. But here's the thing. But here's the thing that I want to say.
My wife.
She said something during the game about Dennis Allen, and I can't unsee it. She said Dennis Allen looks like a dad at CVS trying to pick out the right medicine at midnight.
Right.
And I can't unsee it.
Right.
Like that's who he is. That's what he's always going to be. But Kevin,
where's the bubble gum stuff? Did we have the bubble gum stuff as a kid? I don't know where's the bubble gum stuff?
But
wait, do we have that picture that somebody posted in the Discord of the guy that looks like Ralph? Are we going to be able to pull that up later? Did you guys?
Well, I missed this. I was
maybe we do. Maybe we don't.
There it is! Oh, look at that!
That's the general manager of the Texans, by the way.
The general manager of the
serial killer.
There's no way that guy has one good arm. No way.
That guy makes hiring and firing decisions.
I'm glad I brought this up. He's got the same look that Ralph has in pictures that like hostage like you hear about.
We got that dog. Get him.
Someone
No,
saved me.
he ain't got that dog. He's got something in him. It ain't a dog.
I think he's got.
What is
He's got something evil in him.
We got to get his name out there. His Texas
I think
there's an
he
advocate.
looks like he eats human flesh for dinner. Is what he.
What's his name? Let's get his real name.
Nick Casario. He's the
nice Italian boy.
Hello,
Nice Italian boy.
This Italian fella.
He's the GM general manager for the Texans.
He's got a little
yes.
Silence of the Lambs vibe to him.
He does.
No, but definitely a lookalike. Definitely a lookalike. I mean, you could Photoshop him on any of those photos from Ralph's Paris vacation. Nobody would know the difference.
Nobody would know. You could put that headshot on my LinkedIn. Nobody would notice.
Thomas, we need that as a emoji in Discord.
Ralph,
We need.
Can do.
$20 if you put that as your profile Twitter picture.
We need. Here's the deal. We might be able.
I'll match that $20.
If we fill in the donation cup tonight, guys, Ralph will change the profile picture.
People will see the blue check mark and they'll think the Texans fans on Twitter will follow me. They'll think I'm some sort of Texas.
I don't want you to change your name. Yeah, I just want to change the picture.
I tell you what, we might be able to get one of these 4 first-round picks from this guy. We don't even need to offer Payton.
Right.
I think if we offer a bucket or if we offer a basket and some lotion, we might be able to get one of those picks.
We could.
You don't know what Payton is.
We could seamlessly transition right now into Payton discussion.
No, we need to transition into.
Let me ask you this: does professional Bizarro Ralph, is he like Cherry Coke and bourbon? That's the $1 million question. Is he like caramel bourbon? Cherry Coke.
I don't know. That guy looked like he liked, I don't know, root beer floats or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Texans.
But hey, Thomas, great job for getting that. You obviously had that in the at the ready.
Yeah.
But good job for pulling up immediately. Thank you.
Too many thumbs up on Discord to miss it.
Yeah, that wasn't on the rundown. But
Just a quick note on this. When the hell did Will Lutz turn into a college? Like, he's the 37th most accurate kicker in the NFL. I don't even know how that's possible.
76%, I think, for the season. Right?
It's terrible.
75, 76.
I mean,
37th?
37th.
Is that
no,
true?
32nd. 32nd.
No, I thought 37.
Okay. Either way, he's in the 30s.
I'm checking.
Either way, he's in the 30s. And I believe his season average was about 75, 76%, which...
And how good are NFL kickers these days that 76% is good for 37 best? That's crazy.
And, I mean, I know you disagree.
The first one, he pulled... the first one, it hooked at the very end. I mean, it was close.
I think both of them look the same. Both of them look the same.
Well, the second one was tipped, wasn't it?
I think so.
I couldn't tell, maybe.
From where I sat at the stadium, that
no, it wasn't. It wasn't, man.
That I think he just shanked.
That's what that was.
No way. Are you serious? Okay.
The second one was with the slow mo, man. Like keep watching, man.
The second one was on my side of the field. Happened right in front of me. That ball died. That didn't even get close to making it, and I assumed that was tipped. If he hit that. and
It
that
wasn't,
ball
man.
made no contact with
Look
anything
at
else.
That's it.
I'm
That's
gonna
it.
watch it right now. I'm gonna.
I mean,
And I'm looking.
Oh,
I'm
maybe.
looking at.
Hit by that
Maybe.
guy on the ground.
I'm looking at
Maybe
the
it was.
NFL
No way.
stats right
There's
now.
no way that was his full.
What,
That was
what
his
rank
full
is
kick.
he?
30 seconds.
That was his full kick. Yeah, there's a big problem. There is a big problem.
I don't think you clearly see anyone tip it there.
Where's he
not discussed
ranked, Andrew?
During the broadcast, nobody mentioned this being tipped.
No.
Oh no,
What's he ranked, Andrew? 32nd or 37?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah. So out of 32
That
teams,
ought to have been tipped.
and look, like the Saints are 23 out of 31 on the year for field goals. I mean, it's bad, but it's like I don't hear 23 of 31 and think
Maybe.
horrific.
Does he hit it?
Brett Maher's a super
I
hero.
don't think he did, man.
I don't know. I don't see it in the video, but I think 95's hand hits that thing. That's what I
I
thought.
don't think he
And
does.
again,
I don't
I
think he
think
does,
live.
man.
They can save a ton of money if they cut him. Like Will Lutz he makes $300,000 less than Justin Tucker. Like,
there's no way that was.
Dave, the flight of the ball doesn't change. It doesn't go like
but it comes up. It was very short. Like it didn't even reach like the end zone, if my memory serves me correct. I don't know. Wow. Okay. I thought that
He
fucking
just
ball
shanked
was
it, man.
well,
that was bad.
Thomas, donation
Wow.
updates. We got a lot of people donate. What's the update? Who's in the lead?
Oh,
Does it
that's
say-
a huge update,
I'm gonna get a
man,
drink.
for donations. So,
Tomas, here. No, Tomas, you do the math on that. I'll I'll do this thing here with the thing. Will Lutz, he missed one from over 60. He missed one between 50 and 59. Here's his big problem. He's missed 4 between 40 and 49 yards, and then he's missed 2 between 30 and 39.
terrible. Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, that's where it is.
That's crazy to me that 74% is bad, but like for the Saints to be dead last in the league in field goal percentage, that's shocking.
Kicking is the one thing in football that's like increased over the last 30 years to a ridiculous level. I was watching the Saints today at work. I was watching the Saints Dallas from 1988. And
why?
Morton,
Wait. Just it's a random Monday, and you're at work, and you're just watching random Saints game versus
I was watching
Dallas
it on
Cowboys
YouTube,
from 1988. Okay,
and
I just
they treated
wanted
Morton
to make
Anderson.
sure that's clear that while I'm working my ass off, running my business, trying to make money, nothing's guaranteed for me. That you're old YouTube videos, 88 Saints.
Are you complaining, Dave?
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I'm complaining.
My point is they treated
complaining.
Morton Anderson making 50-yard field goals on the regular like a magic trick. Like the Monday Night
Record-breaking
Football
revenue,
crew,
and he's complaining.
Are
guys.
you ready? Are you ready for a stat that's even weirder?
give it to us.
This season, Will Lutz, for the first time in his career, went a whole season without missing an extra point.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, I don't want to give anything away, but maybe we should bring back Shane Graham.
So, Saints legend, playoff winner, Shane Graham.
Well, look, Kevin, if you're going to be doing mock drafts nonstop, maybe throw a 7th round kicker in there.
Here's the thing,
haven't seen any
Andrew.
kickers available yet.
We mentioned it before. Sam Darnold completed 5 passes to the Panthers, 2 to the Saints. Daniel Sorensen ended up second. The Saints.
Can you please refer to him by his correct name, which is Saints legend Daniel Sorensen?
They got to keep Daniel Sorensen. They got to bring him back. Like Mickey, make it happen. The Panthers, they won, but I don't think you can't criticize the defense. They gave up 171 yards on the ground, which felt really weird that Carolina ran for 171 yards.
That was on 40-something carries, right?
Yeah. So it didn't feel like they did. Carolina, besides their 1 touchdown drive, it never felt like they did anything. I don't know. You can't really criticize the defense at all, really.
I love this photo, Thomas. It's fantastic.
Shout out to Nikolai. Quick Photoshop in the background.
Beautiful.
Fence.
Dave, take a look. Come on, man. Get in there.
I'm looking. I see. Good job. Nikolai did that on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't do it like who wore it better. and like one head of him and one head of me. Who
like it's
Working
like
on the IGA
you both
now.
have like the just for those at home, like Ralph and this what's
Nick Casario. That's why you need to watch the live
I know.
stream.
They both
miss
have
out.
that hide the pain Harold look in their eyes, where like they're trying to make it look like everything's okay with their eyes, but inside it's not okay.
You see, they're dead.
Okay.
They're dead behind the eye.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
right. There's
behind the
bodies. There's
Yeah.
bodies somewhere.
eyes. Right.
Yeah.
Man.
How do you know it's the off season?
Yeah, we've gotten it, baby.
We're just like we hit the off season running like no other Saints podcast.
We thrive in the off season. We thrive.
that's
right. That's right.
The off season is when we shine, baby.
Not a PA guy.
Now's our time.
I've been reminded.
That's right. But the defense, Andrew,
Stronger.
has been
Ralph
good
Andrew Penning's feet.
for 8 weeks. Like the Saints defense the last 6 weeks gave up 13.5 points a game. Like
Yeah, and what was their record in those games?
3-3.
Okay, you know what? I take everything back. Fire Pete Carmichael.
Wait, you know what I wanted to say? I wanted to talk about Detroit. That Lions game, the Lions-Packers game last night was awesome. And I just want to say, like, if you want to talk about DA and compare Dennis Allen to Dan Campbell. Last night you've got the Detroit Lions who are not playing for anything. They're not going to make the playoffs. Same situation as the Saints, obviously. And they go out there and they are pulling off a hook and ladder.
That's right.
With 30 seconds left, just to get a first down, just so they can get in a position to beat the Packers, just to annoy them, just to spoil their season, just to piss off Aaron Rodgers, just to ruin Aaron Rodgers' like last night at Lambeau Field, like just out of spite. Like, just Dennis Allen wouldn't do that. He doesn't have that spite. That's what Sean Payton had. Sean Payton
He got that dog in him.
Yeah, Sean Payton wanted to piss you off just for the sake of pissing you off, because that was fun, and that's what Dan Campbell's got, and that's what Dennis Allen don't got.
I will say this. People were going on and on about how wonderful Dan Campbell was, and he is. Like, Lions are good, but like,
I want him. Can we get him back?
He's on offense. Dave, he's on offensive court
to the Lions, and we'll take Dan Campbell back. How about that?
Dan Campbell is on offensive coordinator number 3. He's had 3 offensive coordinators, including himself, calling plays. So, like, does Dennis Allen get 3 shots at offensive coordinator?
We'll give the Detroit Lions Pete Carmichael, and we'll take Dan Campbell.
Dude, did you know? You want to hear something just insane about the Lions? Just crazy beyond words. Mr. Anzalone, he had 117 tackles.
Wow.
I
saw him after the game
today. You can set your watch to it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's the new Ninkovich.
His hair is looking as glorious as ever.
I know. I saw him after the game. He was running around the edge of the stadium, high-fiving all the fans.
What in God's name just happened to Ralph's screen?
His hair was so long, so blonde.
Oh, my camera went kaput. That's not good.
Ralph's got a cat.
Did you charge your phone, Ralph?
No, I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the off season, guys.
What's the score? What's the score of the Georgia game now?
I'm checking.
Oh my God, I feel so bad.
This is where Ralph tells Thomas, "I can't do it. I can't fix it." And then, like, with 30 seconds left in the show, he fixes it. 65-7 with 7 minutes to go.
God,
my God!
I hope they score again.
Hell yeah!
I took the in-game bet of plus 25.5 for TCU, and that's not even close. I thought maybe they would make a game. All right. Well, Ralph's.
Listen, it's the off season. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
What do you
right,
want
sure.
from me?
Right.
What do you want from me?
All right. What's next?
What's
What's
next?
What do I
What's
want
next?
from you? Oh, I don't know. A working camera.
A working camera on it. You know, I don't know. Whatever.
Thomas, since Ralph can't fix this, can you just put the picture of the face of the Texans GM?
Yeah. Just put Andrew.
that there.
No, what's his name? Cicerone.
I think it's Nick, right?
Nick
something?
Cicerone.
Yeah, Nick Cicero or
Yeah.
whatever the hell his name is.
Casario.
Nick Sicario.
Casario.
Oh, there you go.
I'm back.
Ah.
And now we can see the Daniel Sorensen fathead on the wall.
With the old school webcam.
Saints legend Daniel
Yeah,
Sorensen.
Saints legend Daniel Sorensen. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
The
Saints-
Who played their last game as a Saint? Davenport, Onyemata, Lutz.
Jameis.
Well, he didn't play, but yeah, this was his last time in a
I mean, Onyemata,
His last
Davenport.
name is a Saint.
what?
Caden Ellis.
No.
A lot of Saints. I mean, I'm just saying.
Is that your hot take? Is that
That's
what
my-
you're going with? That you're the Caden Ellis hot take. By the way, he was the in the game when they do the guess that smile thing on the big screen. It was Caden Ellis, but like nobody knows what Caden Ellis's smile looked like. So everybody got it wrong, including the person who was supposed to answer.
I wouldn't know who Caden Ellis was if he came to my door and he said, "Hello, I'm Caden
He was
Ellis."
wearing
and
his
he's wearing
jersey.
a Caden Ellis jersey. Like for real.
Who else? Yeah, this is a good
Landry?
exercise. Who else played their last game?
Landry?
Yeah,
Cam Jordan. Does he come back next year?
I think
no.
so.
Cam Jordan, like he's not going to make $20 million doing TV. Ingram.
Why? He might. I think Cam Jordan would be
I think
a lot more
Jordan could be
entertaining than
amazing at
Drew.
TV, but he's not gonna make
freaking
20 million.
Brees. By the way, Drew, great coaching job in that Purdue bowl game.
Ooh, that's
But you guys wanted him to be brought in as an offensive consultant or a quarterback consultant. This guy would have found a way.
Speeches.
They'd have had a goddamn house. They'd have had a house investigation committee on Drew Brees had he come to coach for the Saints. Roger Goodell would have found ways to extract more draft picks and money from this franchise if Drew would have come in.
Yeah.
No, we don't want Drew anywhere near this organization anymore, unless he's going to play.
I would have taken Drew as a quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Would you take him back if he's like, I'm bored, coaching didn't work out, the arm's feeling good?
I say Payton, Breeze, let's get the band back together, boys. Let's get the band back together.
Take him
We're going back on tour.
Listen, speaking of, look, the Saints losing that stupid game, Dave, it wasn't the biggest Saints news over the weekend. Michael Thomas redid his contract, and it almost certainly means he's designated as a June 1st cut. Denver received permission to speak to Sean Payton. Let's start with this. Michael Thomas, I'm just sad. Like, that dude was on the fast track to not only being the best receiver in Saints history, he was on the fast track, I think, to possibly going to Canton.
Sure.
And, because Sean Payton wanted to rub his nuts all over Tom Brady's face, and he ran a trick play, Thomas got hurt, and he's been gone ever since. Like, I was just like, when I saw that Saturday morning, I was just sad.
Yola Nola says Kevin Hauser convinced Drew to coach Purdue.
Oh man,
pretty good.
My God.
It's crazy because Thomas obviously he won Offensive Player of the Year, and no Saints offensive player has ever done that besides Drew, and he was amazing. He was incredible. But I think if this is it for Michael Thomas, and I believe that it is, I don't think he's the best receiver in Saints history. I don't think he's overtaken Colston yet. And so I mean, it's a dramatic turn of events that he didn't become the best receiver in Saints history.
He's going to catch 100 passes for somebody next year. Mark that down.
On the one hand, Ralph, yes, I can see that happening. On the other hand, I worry that this was.
Last hand?
On the other hand, it's just I worry that this is just like a terrible turn of events for a great talent, a great player. Bad luck, injury luck. Ralph's ready to blame it on Sean Payton, I guess. Okay, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you're right. That's when he got injured on that trick play, right?
It's right. And by the way, Fox just ripping Sean Payton to shreds about how he just attacks the craft services table at the Fox pregame show that was cold, Michael Strahan.
They call them snacks.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody's worried about attacking Sean Payton. How about we attack the medical staff for the Saints? Like, how long has this been going on where players get injured and we either don't know what's going on or the recovery is longer than expected? Like, I wouldn't trust these pricks to give me a flu shot.
That's right. Everybody on Twitter was like, hey, Trevor Penning, you got that Liz Frank? 2 words, buddy. Second opinion. I mean, look, the soft tissue injuries, were they better? They were better.
That guy.
Right?
Who was that guy that we got from Alabama?
Reduced by 50%.
Yeah, F that guy.
I feel like most of the Saints' injuries this year weren't soft tissue. They were like bones breaking, kidneys falling out. Like, was it just me?
Well, they early in the season they had like a rib fetish. You had the Taysom rib injury, and then you had Kamara with the rib injury, and then Lattimore. So I feel like that was the thing for a while, and then they went to the toe fetish. Maybe they started talking to Rex Ryan or something. But then Thomas had the toe, and Penning had the toe, and then there was another guy that had a toe.
I'm forgetting.
Can't remember who. But then then they started to segue into the ankle. More like the garden variety injuries, the injuries you expect. A bunch of guys got ankles. There's a lot of injuries. And so, like, I wonder, like, is it the Superdome turf?
Yeah.
I mean, I have to ask the question, like, Mark Ingram was complaining about the turf.
I think that's been put out there before. I think that's a thing.
I feel like the Saints are at the top of the list of injuries every season. And
I mean, they've been top 5 in 2017, in 2021, in 2022. That's 3 of the last 6 years. It's not just, I mean, I know people say injuries is bad luck, but it feels like it's not now. You got a trend going on.
I'm looking in this donation cup here, and I see the bits, but is there bones in there too? Is there like discarded chicken wings? What are those thin white things?
Yeah, those do look like bones. What's great is the first one that came in, I thought it was like a plane flying and like it was dropping a bomb of bits into the glass, but no, it was just a bone flying across, like in 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then it just tumbled into the glass.
It looks like a dissected owl pellet inside of that cup. What is going on, Thomas?
Give us an update, Thomas.
But guys, we have a battle of 4 former MVP, Saints Rabbit, Cook Duke, Tiger Saint, and Hatchet John, all battling for that number 1 spot right now. Saints Rabbit is in the lead with 5,300 bits. Cook Duke second, 4,500. Tiger Saint, 3,000 bits, and Hatchet John, 1,600 bits.
Andrew, the key to get the donations up is to we need a new cameo every week.
Why don't you get drunk and go on Cameo next weekend again like you did this weekend? Andrew's like texting us just randomly, he just went out and got 2 new Cameo intros. He's just throwing around, just charging it to the Saints Happy Hour credit card, willy-nilly.
We need to make another run at Jim Mora.
Yeah, right. You ain't getting
He refused us.
You aren't. The only way you're gonna get Jim Mora is if you ask him to
He's
do
gonna scam you again.
If you ask him to do a straight intro, he's not going to curse. He's not going to make fun of us.
I think you ask him once a year, Ralph, because he's at the point now where he's old enough that he's not going to remember last time you asked. and he
Tell
might
him-
just fall for it this time.
Mean.
No,
Tell him-
I think that's the wrong thing though. I think you want him to remember, and I think like after 4 years he'll be like, "All right, fine, I'll freaking do it if you stop asking me."
Well, if
Tell him we'll let his son do a cameo too.
he's doing the slow con on me where he instant messages me on Cameo and I got to pay $3 to respond to me. To respond to him. It's a slow.
Yes. Don't ask me about doing an intro for what? Podcast?
Yeah. What's a podcast?
I'm gonna do a
Podcast?
So the other Saints news that wasn't on the field from this weekend, Denver asked for permission to talk to Sean Payton. And Kevin, I got excited for you because apparently the Saints are asking for a lot and Denver,
as they should be,
is willing to meet it.
Yes. 2 first-round draft picks.
No,
No, they don't have to.
I mean, Denver's got San Francisco
don't.
first.
I don't need the first-round draft picks to be all in the same year. I've discussed this before.
But
I feel like first-round draft picks.
I feel like Denver is the front runner until next Monday when Tom Brady defeats the Cowboys, and then then Jarrett gets in the chat. Jarrett.
I mean, hell, give me a 2025.
Oh, you want
draft
the
pick.
you want
No,
the
I'm serious. Like Mickey. Look, Mickey's going to be around in 2025. It's not like Mickey's worried about his job security. Okay, Mickey will be here in 2025. Like, give me your 2023 draft pick and then first round, and then give me your 2025 first round draft pick. Because like obviously,
what about 2024?
No, because
No.
because
I want later. I want like 2028.
let's take some shit in the future. Like, I don't care. But to answer your question, Andrew, because like, I mean, the thing is like, this is, I've thought about this, and it's like, you have a coach and you want to trade him to a new team, but you don't want to hamper your new coach by screwing him over with no first round draft picks. Like, obviously, like Sean Payton doesn't want to go into a situation where he doesn't have 2 first round draft picks for the first 2 years. Obviously, unless there's some backup plan where they're saying, okay, well, we'll do this and we'll go get a 2024 draft pick later by trading this guy or doing this or whatever. But so it's just it's a tough situation because you're trying to entice somebody to come to your team and improve your team, but you're also, to do that, you have to give away assets and things that are going to help that coach improve the team.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree with that. And I was fantasizing about Arizona because they fired Cliff Kingsbury and the GM resigned or whatever today. I was fantasizing about them giving the Saints the 3rd pick, which that's like a 0.5% chance. But Kevin, I do believe that Mickey, for our well-being as a podcast and Saints fans' mental well-being and Saints Twitter, the Civil War, not starting to use nuclear weapons, we need Mickey Loomis to get us picks. Like a first-round pick or multiple second-round picks and third. We need picks because if the announcement comes on down that Sean Payton's going to Denver and the Saints get like a 5th round pick, I fear
I will kill you, Ralph. You'll have 2 bad arms.
I mean, we need Mickey Loomis to get us picks, and so the 2023 draft can be fun. Like, we need that badly.
I did this. Hang on, let me get this back up. I was doing this earlier. I've been playing with the mock draft simulator, and Dave's walking out. He's not going to hear this brilliance. I traded Sean Payton to the Arizona Cardinals for their 1st and their 3rd this year and their 2nd round pick in next year.
Wow.
Hang on. Well, I mean, I forced it through, so I just said that's... But I took that 3rd round pick.
Are we talking the 3rd overall pick?
I took that 3rd overall pick from the Cardinals, I got on the horn with the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, we're not trading with them again.
Yes, we are, because I got the 10th overall pick, the 31st overall pick, their round 2 pick,
Oh my God.
and their round 3 pick. All so they could pick 3rd. And you know what I did with that? I stockpiled, gentlemen. I was like a giant goddamn squirrel hoarding nuts for the winter.
Here we go.
Big fuzzy cheeks, full of draft picks.
Jason Champagne says, "Can Griff negotiate the Sean trade?" That's a great idea, Jason Champagne.
You let me negotiate that.
Well, here's my question, and I want everyone to answer. And Andrew told me I was ridiculous today, and I still think it's ridiculous. But I think it's
plenty of things you're ridiculous about, Ralph.
It's a thing worth discussing because it's fun. If Arizona, if Michael Bidwell says, I gotta have Sean Payton, I gotta have him. I don't have a GM. I gotta have him. I got Kyler Murray. I paid him $250 million. I gotta have Sean Payton. And he calls up the Saints and he says, you can have the 3rd pick, but that's it. Third pick, the number 3.
Right.
That's it.
Come on, guys.
You
number
guys
3.
talk. You guys talk. I'll work some magic with just that 3rd pick. Hang on.
I think
It's interesting.
Mickey Loomis takes it and doesn't even fight with them.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no way they're
Probably.
doing that, but
You're
like,
probably right.
I think he does.
done.
Done.
Where do I sign?
It's number 3, guys.
If Arizona said to you, Dave, they said, I'll give you the 3rd pick. I'll give you the 3rd pick.
It's not happening.
But you got to give me 41. You got to give me pick 41 and Sean Payton. Would you still do it?
Yes.
I would. Because, and I'll tell you this.
No,
Kevin's fuming.
I'm not giving any assets. And look, I think that okay, go ahead, Kevin. Just take it away.
Okay. I took the 3rd overall pick from the Arizona Cardinals. That was it. I then flipped the 3rd overall pick and our 105th pick to the Raiders. And in exchange, I got the 7th, the 38th, 70, 102, and 134.
Wow.
Sure, sign me up. Yeah.
Kevin's going to cut like
of this year's
3/4
draft.
of these picks.
They're never trading that.
Yeah.
But here's my
Look,
thing.
Wait, no, I think look, if that proposition came to Mickey and it came across Mickey's desk, his cell phone, his text message, whatever. First of all, obviously the first thing Mickey does is he goes to Denver or whoever else he's talking to and says, these guys are ready to give me the 3rd overall pick. What do you want to give me? And he goes from there. But to answer the question, I think he could get more than that. And I don't mean like a higher draft pick, but I mean, I think he could, he could get more than one pick whose overall value would be worth more than just the 3rd round pick. But
I don't know.
in your situation, I'm just saying, in your situation, I think as far as Mickey's concerned, he knows, hey, I can get the 3rd round pick. I'm going to look like a hero.
The 3rd overall pick, yeah.
Sorry, it's a 3rd overall pick. I'm going to look like a hero. I'm gonna at the very least, I'm gonna look like I did a decent job. It's a safe move. So yes, I think he does. I think he does do that.
If they get the 3rd pick, I don't mean to break your heart, but if the Saints would get the 3rd pick from Arizona, you can just kiss assets goodbye, because whatever it takes Mickey Loomis to get into the top 2 to get a quarterback, that would happen. It would be done. I would just the 2024 first.
One thing we haven't addressed is that I've been told Sean Payton's not coming back to the Saints. So I know that was like out there for a minute, like Brady and Sean Payton, and I was told like categorically,
right,
they are not coming to New Orleans. Brady's not coming to New Orleans. Sean Payton's not coming back. But what I find interesting, so the Saints didn't put that out there, obviously, and the fact that Pro Football Talk was putting it out there. And it was Brady associated with Sean Payton, who clearly have this, they have the same agent. So clearly that was orchestrated by Payton's camp. I feel like we're not talking about this enough. I can't believe Sean Payton greenlighted that. That he greenlighted, like, yeah, put that out there that I might go back to the Saints.
Yeah.
I can't believe he would do DA like that.
Why?
Like, say what you will about Dennis Allen.
Right.
Like,
I will.
I just think it's slimy that,
It
like,
is.
he's supposed to be his
dirty.
best friend. Like, they're supposed to be, like, buddies.
Boys.
What?
Yeah, and he's putting that out there like, oh, yeah, I might go back to the Saints.
I mean,
like,
Sean Payton's got to get that
basically like,
bag,
I'll
man.
take the job if Dennis gets fired. You know, like, it's just like, really, you're gonna do your
Saints
buddy?
Rabbit says Rex Ryan 100% believes that Tom Brady and Sean Payton are coming to New Orleans.
I mean,
Hey,
look,
let me-
look, I would do that to Ralph, so you know, I get it.
It's, who wouldn't really? My own wife would do that to me.
Sick people.
Here's the final
Mentally
thing on this.
sick.
On this Sean Payton trade, and I want people in the chat to bring in this too. What is the best realistic package you think the Saints are going to get? What's the best? I don't think the third is really going to. That's like a 0.5% chance from Arizona. But what's the best case scenario the Saints get? Probably at the end of next week, where we're like, oh, that's what they got. Like, what's the best case scenario?
First round pick plus
2 first-round draft picks in same years.
I don't think they're getting a first, but I think it's totally realistic that they get a first plus. So either like a first and a third, first and a second, first and 2/3, something like that.
I think best case scenario, Dallas loses next Monday night while we're doing this podcast.
Dallas is not going to fire their. You
Dude,
think they're going to fire him? You think they're going to fire him if
Dallas loses to Tom Brady next
they'll
Monday
fire him.
night?
Really?
I really do.
The Mickey
I'm
Loomis
telling you
will
right now,
have
if-
2 first before the end, before we sign off Monday night.
I'm just going to say this right now.
Put money on that.
If you really feel that way, then, or if there are any Saints fans out there with Ralph, apparently Andrew, who feel that way, then you should be watching that game very closely.
We will be.
Because that's going to be a very important game, obviously.
Thomas, what's the Twitch rules? Can we put a box in one of the corners of the live stream? It's the Cowboys and the Tampa, or will Twitch ban us?
And I'm not opposed to that because
I think they will.
yeah, they'll ban you. And I mean, I'm not opposed to that because look, of all the people or teams or owners or whoever that might be a little loose with their compensation, I would think it's going to be Jerry.
Dave,
I think right now, as we sit here today, if you're a Saints fan, you want 3 things. You're kind of looking at the next week or so. You want 3 things to happen. Number 1, Michigan, you got to come through for us. Give Jim Harbaugh the mother of all extensions. All right, like get him out of NFL matriculation.
Sure,
and keep him in college football. That's number 1.
Great.
Number 2, you want the Cowboys to lose Tampa. You want Tom Brady to. I know it's going to hurt. It's painful, but you want Tom Brady to kick the Cowboys' teeth in.
And you
Mike
need
McCarthy
egregious
gets
coaching
fired.
from McCarthy. You need clock management screw up. You
Clock
need
management
egregious
errors.
coaching. Yeah.
Which is totally possible. Totally possible.
Yes.
And so then, you know, that Sean Payton is an attractive option for Jerry Jones. He backs up the truck. That raises the value. And then number 3, you want Sean McVay to retire.
Ooh, right.
Those are the 3 things that I think only serve to increase Sean Payton's value.
I mean, we already kind of got lucky. Yeah, and I think we mentioned this earlier because I don't think we really had Kingsbury getting fired from Arizona. So that's like an additional spot that's now opened up that I don't think we were really planning on. He was signed through 2027 or whatever the hell it was. So that's an extra spot. I mean, Houston, obviously, we thought Lovey might get fired. Obviously, Denver. But yeah, I mean, just basically the more head coaching spots that open up, the better for us.
Yeah,
honestly, but here's the thing. The thing with the picks depends on which team is the one doing the negotiating. Like, for instance,
I think
if it is the Rams, if let's say Enos Stan Kroenke lets Sean McVay go, and he wants to reach out to the Saints, Okay, fine. You don't want to give up pick 37 because that's in the second round. Okay, fine. We will take your third round pick, which is 69. Nice. We will take your first round pick in 2024 and your second round pick in 2025. That's a 3, a 1, and a 2 in 3 straight years. However, let's say it is the Cowboys. Let's say it's the Cowboys. We'll take the 25, and we'll take the 89, and we'll take round 2 next year, and you can have Sean Payton.
Wouldn't it be higher than 25 if they lost to Tampa, though? Like 25 seems a little low. Like I feel like it would be
maybe
it'd be higher. It'd be higher, like 20. 20.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm saying is it goes up a tick. So we would take their first round pick and their third round pick, and then we would take their second the following year.
Ooh, Saints Rabbit ass. Any chance Green Bay realizes LaFleur is a fraud and fires him?
I don't think they'll do that until
It depends on Aaron Rodgers.
I think they're going to want to see. They're going to want to see what he does with whoever replaces Aaron Rodgers.
I will say this. Right. I think the key
is he vaxxed or not?
The key for the Saints
he's immunized.
Is
immunized.
Sean Payton getting hired is going to be owner driven in a sense of the Texans aren't going to be in the Sean Payton sweepstakes because they said today, my non-crippled body double Nick Caserio, he gets to run the coaching search. And if a GM,
do you have any pull with him in Houston?
I don't.
Can you make this happen?
But my point is, Dave, if a GM is going to run the coaching search, they're not going to hire Sean Payton and give up all their power.
Right.
So it's got to be a Jerry Jones, a Bidwell, the Walmart people just being like, my GM, he don't make this decision. Right. I make this decision. It's an emotional decision. I want Sean Payton. I don't really care about compensation. Like,
what about the Dolphins? What about the Dolphins?
Ooh.
Look, hang on. Let me take a look at them.
The playoffs, they are going to get housed because they're playing. They're not even. They don't get to play Tua. They don't get to play Teddy Bridgewater. They play some third string guy.
Wait, is Miami's in the playoffs?
Yeah, they're going to Buffalo. They're going to get housed.
Yeah,
number 7 seed.
Look, and I've said this before. Like, there's a lot of options for head coach. I'm sure Eric Bieniemy is going to come up again this year, but Sean Payton, in my opinion, and maybe I'm biased. I don't think I am biased, but maybe I am. I mean, Sean Payton is cream of the crop, number one. There's Sean. There's, as far as like candidates are concerned, there's Sean Payton, and there's everybody else. You've got a guy who wasn't, again, like you said before.
I think Jim Harbaugh is like in his
maybe. Okay.
Yeah,
you could you know what? That's a great point, and I'll
and Jim Harbaugh, he won without an elite quarterback.
Well, there you go.
He won with Alex Smith. He won with Kaepernick. Like, Jim Harbaugh is really good.
No,
he came the hell away from Carolina.
No, I totally agree. Andrew makes a great point. I mean, I wasn't really considering Jim Harbaugh as a legitimate contender, but I mean, I guess he really is. But okay, so both of them are your two candidates who are looking for new jobs, but they're not being fired. It's not like they were poor performers last year or previous years. They're just looking for a change of scenery or whatever the situation may be. And they're both people that have proven track records, that have done this before, that that are culture changing. They are. I mean, Sean Payton changed the entire trajectory of the entire Saints franchise. I mean, like, you can't put a price on that. And I know that no general managers out there are listening to this podcast, but you can't put a price on that. And to be honest with you, 2 first-round draft picks or a first-round draft pick plus, as Andrew said, in the grand scheme of things, big picture, it's pittance. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what somebody like Sean Payton and, yes, I will concede, Jim Harbaugh can do for your franchise.
Yeah, it Andrew, how soon he can't start interviewing till the 17th in person. How soon is this how long is this process going to go on, you think?
I mean, I tend to think that Sean Payton is the most in-demand guy. But with Rooney Rule, like everyone has to interview at least one other coach besides Payton. And so I don't know. Like I don't think it happens that quick, but I don't think he's going to wait much past the wild card round. And I do think he'll end up being the first coach to get hired, would be my prediction. Because I think a lot of dominoes have to fall after that. I think a lot of teams would want Sean Payton. And so, yeah, I think a week, maybe.
I want the Cowboys to lose, and I want Panic Jerry. That's what I want. That's the best case scenario. I think you panic.
I'm telling you, that's the trifecta. You need the mother of all Godfather offers, Jim Harbaugh to stay at Michigan. You need McCarthy to get pantsed on Monday night. Just super weird, by the way. A playoff game on Monday night is super weird. Yeah. You need McCarthy to get pantsed and then fired. And then you need McVay to retire. And that's Ram's job to open up.
Yeah, and Yola Nola makes a good point, going back to the whole Harbaugh thing, too. Making him maybe a little more attractive than Sean Payton is the fact that you don't have to give up draft picks for Harbaugh. So that's interesting. Payton and Harbaugh are definitely, they're the two top, and then everybody else is below them.
I do think
you're
Sean
right. Yeah,
Payton
we want Harbaugh to stay in college. We do not want him to.
Harbaugh's a weird guy. Like he's painful to listen to, and I do think Sean Payton would interview much better than Jim.
Well, I mean,
he's way more personable.
The only other thing I would say, and I say this as somebody who owns a business, interviews people, like one of the things I value is consistency. And, if I know you're going to be here for a while, and I feel like Harbaugh, I mean, he's gone from Michigan to San Francisco to whatever. He's jumped around a little bit. Like, I feel like
he's a maniac.
Payton, yeah, like, and I feel like
in a different way from Sean Payton. Obviously.
Well, he types everything into Microsoft Excel. He uses Microsoft Excel as if it's Microsoft Word.
Wait, what?
You got to listen to Pardon My Take to get that.
Okay,
he does. He's a big Microsoft Excel. He does everything in Microsoft Excel. Yes, exactly. That's where I'm going.
So does Ralph.
Yeah, but no. But yeah, I mean, Sean Payton. He came to New Orleans. He came to New Orleans when it was down and out, when it needed the most help, and he rebuilt it. And he stayed here, and he was here for 12 years. He shows a lot more commitment than I would say Harbaugh does. So.
Yeah, he'll commit wherever if they pay him $20 million. Thomas, it's time for Finger Gun. Oh no! Wait! I blew it off. I totally blew it off. We can hotline time.
Holy shit,
Kevin! It's time for hot sauce.
Yeah. All right. It's time for this week's hottest take of the week on the Hotline, sponsored by JLD Hot Sauce and Knives. If you want award-winning hot sauces like Buchalokia or Reaper Madness Special Reserve, go to www.jldsharpsauce.com. They also have incredible jellies such as palm and pepper. They also have an incredible selection of handmade knives for cooking, hunting, and outdoor needs. Go check out the Zombie Killer Quartering Cleaver and tell me it's not the best damn quartering cleaver you ever saw in your entire life. Jerry Ambler is a tremendous supporter of Saints Happy Hour. So we are asking you to support the people who support Saints Happy Hour. Go to www.jldsharpsauce.com to get the best hot sauces and knives at the best prices anywhere. Use promo code Saints Happy Hour and get 10% off. That's www.jldsharpsauce.com, promo code Saints Happy Hour.
Thomas, describe the hotline in 3 words.
I mean, it was misery and people calling for a Marcus Toothless head.
Here we go.
It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
Well, close the book on Marcus Davenport. Took him 5 seasons to log a TJ Watt 2021 season. Good job. Now what I want us to do is trade up into the first round and draft another defensive lineman bust. And what's with this Matt Millen freak? This guy doesn't know shit. He needs to go back to rapping, the son of a bitch!
Well, the only hope is that Payton sells well, we pick well, and everything else flows right. It looks like with Thomas, they might have got out, maybe getting some picks from that. I guess we'll see, but, that was a pretty pathetic game.
If this game doesn't sum up this season, I don't know what does. What a sainty end to a sainty season. The saddest I can remember in years. I actually I was at the Bucks Saints game in Tampa when Tampa was tanking for Jameis, of all things, and that game was sad. And this, wow, I mean, this is the worst I've seen in years. Ouch. Well, next year. Cheers. Do that.
Today begins day 1 of my logs to be sunk in hours and hours of tape. It's probably going to rival Kevin's miles and miles of dead trees having to make his mock drafts. I will annoyingly let people know who my favorite players are. Get ready. I'm about to be irritable.
I think Will Lutz is going to go join Davenport. This is abysmal. Wow.
Hey guys, this is Adam, the radio voice calling you from East Shore, Maryland, on a completely shit 2022 season. Just got done watching the Panthers sweep the New Orleans Saints on a horrible game today. So I've come to the conclusion that it is bizarro world. When we had Sean Payton, the head coach had the control of the offense. He needed a defensive coordinator. Dennis Allen will be the head coach. He has control of the defense. We need an offensive coordinator. So Pete Carmichael, go away. Jameis Winston, go away. Andy Dalton, stay as a backup. But the offense was atrocious. The defense was great. This season ended the way it should have, even though none of us wanted it to, which was on a shit stick of suck. It just sucks. Leaves a bad taste in the mouth. The dome advantage is gone. People love coming to the dome to win. It just sucks. This season, I am going to forget this season. I hate it. It sucks. It's awful, but I love you guys. Peace.
Man, we are going to need a lot of Blue Chew this offseason.
Blue Chew.
I don't even know. We're just like mixing in sponsors together.
So that's a beautiful way to end it.
Yeah.
It is.
Good job.
And by the way, patrons, you can get the uncensored hotline on YouTube and Patreon, patrons only. So become a patron, saintshappyhour.com, and you get the uncensored version of the hotline. It's longer, more vulgar, better.
You get more.
Thomas,
you get more of Adam's radio voice.
Yeah, Thomas, we're at like an hour and a half. Hit the finger guns.
We still got to do my 15 minutes of Tulane.
Oh my God, beer till tomorrow.
That's been cut to 3 seconds.
Ralph, you have to wake up anyway tomorrow just to watch highlights on YouTube from the 1988 Cowboys Saints game. So let's not act like you've got something important to do tomorrow.
Right. Well, here's the thing, Dave. YouTube, when I log in, the algorithm knows that I hunt.
And it shows, it shows you shit that you want to.
It just fed me. I was like, oh, Saints Cowboys 1988. Like, it's just offering it to me. Why wouldn't I watch?
That's like me when I watch porn.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to watch 1976 Saints Redskins? Yes. Why wouldn't I? Thomas, what you got for us?
Okay, we got tons of questions this time. I mean, it's funny. In the off season, we are getting more questions than during the regular season.
Shenanigans. We get the shenanigans.
Yeah, you got shenanigans and people get weird. So,
okay, let's start with a question from Budridge. And he asks, which players do you believe will get the off-season surgery days after the season officially ends?
I think Cam Jordan's a good candidate. Well, we already know Trevor Penning and Cesar Ruiz are getting surgery or have just gotten it. But who gets the mystery? I think what he's really asking is who gets the mystery surgery.
Yeah, so you gotta focus on like a guy that like Davenport, because he just fell off a cliff, right?
Yeah,
like he would be one.
Payton Turner,
Payton Ramczyk is always like they might be like he's got to get a new knee. He's always always a possibility.
Okay. He's got to get a new knee.
Yeah, can we put some titanium in that freaking
right?
knee?
I mean, it's weird though. I don't like. I'm trying to think of like guys that were played all year that underachieved.
With our luck, Daniel Sorensen probably has got to get the mesh.
He's got to get the mesh. Yeah.
Mario Davis.
Ooh. I don't know. I'm trying to. Yeah, that's it. They don't have too many candidates. I don't think.
Look, Duke says Pete's due for surgery. I mean, that's like a regular off season for Pete.
Yeah. I think Andres Pete is one of the people that's played his last game for the Saints. I think they're going to move on from him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be you can only designate 2 people post June. It's going to be Michael Thomas, Andres Pete.
Next question.
Okay, next question from the current MVP leader, and thanks Saints Rabbit for 1,000 bits before I read the first question. Saints Rabbit asks, since Will Lutz no longer has big nuts, what is his new nickname?
Lil Nuts?
No nuts, Lutz?
No, Lil Nuts. Lil Nuts, because it still rhymes with Will Lutz. Will Lutz, Lil Nuts.
Lil Nuts.
Numb nuts.
Next question.
Not
nuts.
Not gonna work here anymore.
No.
That's for sure.
That was a fast one. Okay, next question from your friend Dave Bulldog Saint.
Oh yes, hey Lori.
She asks, now that the Payton sweepstakes has begun, what team would provide the best scenario for the Saints? And she also asks about the worst.
I think we talked about the best. Let's talk about the worst.
Well, the best scenario for the Saints is whoever's going to give us more, but also obviously, I mean, worse. Honestly, I don't know. Dallas. I want Payton out of the NFC. I do not want him in the AF. I think the worst.
I think the worst scenario is
Panthers.
No, the Cowboys win, so they don't fire McCarthy. Denver is like, we can get Harbaugh. Why do we need you, Sean Payton? We can get Harbaugh. He fixed Alex Smith. He can fix Russell Wilson. And then Sean Payton's like, Arizona doesn't want me. I'm going to go back to Fox for another year, and his value plummets.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
that's
he doesn't
the
have,
worst case.
He doesn't have value
I
after
agree.
that. If we don't trade him this season, that's it. He doesn't have value.
Yeah.
There is no value.
I agree. That's the worst case scenario is he goes back to Fox.
Which he kind of like.
Best case, I would say, is somehow they get 2 firsts.
Yeah.
Next question.
And draft Marcus Davenport.
Then we can call him. Then we can call him.
Yeah.
We can call him
2 firsts.
Shawnee 2 firsts.
Whoever is the best pass rusher for what was it? Where did 2 firsts go to school? UT San Antonio or something?
Yeah. I think it would be fun if they got a bunch of second round picks and we could call him Sean 4 seconds. That would be fun.
We just trade both 2 first rounds that we acquire for Sean. We package them together and we go get UTSA's best pass rusher and make sure he's a bust.
I cannot believe. Why are we drafting somebody from UTSA in the first round?
Good question.
I'm a Tulane fan, and I'm like, we should not be drafting somebody for UTSA.
What you got for us?
He mauled Tulane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, final question of the show. It belongs to Bulky, and he asks, as Payton used to say, there's musts, needs, and wants. For this off-season, what are the Saints' musts, needs, and wants?
I would put musts as defensive tackle and running back categorically. I don't think if you Well, sorry. I guess I should say quarterback first.
I think quarterback's its own category.
A must. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Quarterback's obviously a must, but after that, I would say running back and defensive tackle to me.
Yeah.
If you go through this offseason without filling those holes, you failed.
I think you need,
from there we'll get into this, but I think the offensive line probably needs to get fresh. Wouldn't mind getting another receiver in the mix. And
I want a new kicker.
Oh yeah,
new kicker, new coach.
Why is Kevin
new everything?
Kevin is texting us.
And Dave's gone.
So that's it. There's the question. So Thomas, before we get to Dave's 30 seconds of Tulane euphoria, who's winning the MVP race?
The MVP race, Saints Rabbit is still in the lead, 6,300 bits. Cook Duke behind him, 4,500 bits.
Nice. Thank you, guys. We appreciate it. Andrew's going to get a cameo from Daniel Sorensen.
And Jim Moore.
Yeah, good luck.
I'm serious. Right after this is done,
good luck with
Ralph.
Oh,
send
the
the new request for Jim Moore.
So, we got to do before
Kevin, wait a minute. Stop the show. Kevin is taking a dump on the show. Okay. It's official. He just texted us. He's been texting us for some reason. That is fucking stupid. Somehow he's listening to us, and he's texting us his needs and his wants and his musts. So somehow he's listening to the show, but he's not in his chair. If you're watching live on Twitch, you can see Kevin. You can see there's an empty chair there. And I'm only mentioning this because for so long I have been insulted and ashamed for going to the bathroom during the podcast. And here we go. and he's not peeing, he's pooping. This is a pooping situation we have a live pooping situation going on here with Kevin. So
he says he wants a cameo from Ted Gregory.
I want a cameo from Kevin live from the bathroom.
We at Saints Happy Hour, other podcasts are like, we'll get into the off season. We'll get into it slowly. We'll pick it up the pace. As soon as we hit the off season running, like I feel like this show is like mid June quality.
Yeah,
off season.
We're gonna
content.
get off this. We're gonna get off the show. It's good. We're gonna get off the show, and Ralph's gonna be like, "That was a great show. That was a great show." You know it's coming as soon as we get off. As soon as we hang up, Ralph's gonna be like, "That was a great show.
Great show."
It's still not over, man.
No, we got to talk about predictions, and then I got to talk.
We got to Thomas. Who won predictions for the year? Like, what's the final tally of the season?
I mean, first we need to have Kevin back. I think.
Do we, or is he fall in the toilet?
So he can try.
I mean, I'm off the hook. That's it. I don't want to hear any.
Kevin just commented. Kevin just commented. He said, "My toilet trip is more fun than Dennis Allen's coaching tenure of the season."
I don't want to hear any more bathroom jokes about me. Okay. Thomas has the predictions from last week up here. Let's talk about this. First, I was the only one to predict the Panthers to win. That's a check. That's a check for me.
They won by 3. So you had the margin correct.
They won by 3. I had the margin correct.
I mean, we don't bank on the margin, Andrew.
Yeah, I know. I think all of us kind of assumed that these teams would score a couple more points. We weren't asking for a lot. But we got nothing. Yeah, they couldn't even, we have 23-17, 23-13.
They couldn't even meet
2017, 17-7. They couldn't even hit any of those numbers.
I feel like my prediction easily could have happened. Easily.
And I predicted Will Lutz to be the turn game. I think I nailed that. I wish I had locked this
You
in.
did. You did.
I know. I don't think I had any locks, but
I think the most important question is what about Kevin, guys? He
Well,
locked
that's what
the
I was- so
Saints
I-
to
that-
win, and he predicted Will Lutz to be the star of the game. That's
yes,
a
and
big fail.
he locked it in. So like he could not have been more wrong. He's got 28 points. I think you lose all 28 points for that.
And a bathroom penalty.
Well, I
penalty.
don't know, man. I don't know, man.
I think
I
Kevin
feel like
and
I should get 1 point for putting keep DA and DA's thing.
No. We said keep DA 5 weeks ago when he started his winning streak. I think. Wait. I think.
I got draft fever. I apologize.
I think this is a Cotton Bowl-esque Tulane comeback here. I think I should just switch points with Kevin. I should get 28 points, and Kevin should get 0 points, and I should vault to the top.
He should get 3.
This should be the comeback win of the
What is the
century of the
bathroom
week.
penalty in the
I don't know. Well, the longer he's away, I think the more points gets deducted. This is crazy. I have never taken.
Man, does he have a diarrhea or something? What
I
the hell,
don't know.
man?
This is
What
why
happened at
this is
Clown of
why
the
I took
Week?
this is why I took the computer to the bathroom because I couldn't afford to because that's pretty good. Errol.
Diarrhea is pretty quick. Honestly, I think you mean constipation.
Wow, this is unheard of.
Yeah, it is.
This is unheard of. Maybe he's
Dave-
getting a blowy from a girl. I don't know. Who knows?
So Dave, give us. You get like 90 seconds of the best Tulane moment.
I mean, what the hell, man? We're not done with the predictions.
We're talking about Tulane later. We'll
Finish
do it at
this
the
segment
end.
before we go to Tulane. My God.
No, we'll talk
Holy
about it at
shit!
the end.
Okay, let me announce the winner.
Don't we
of the
have
day.
to do
you
Clown
think-
of the Week too? Isn't that?
No, we blew that out.
We skipped it, man. You want
We'll
the
do
show to
Clown
be
of the
3
Year
hours
next
long?
year.
The Clown of the Week was Will Lutz.
That's right.
God.
That was easy.
Done and
What
done.
do you think, Dave? How many points do you think I'm going to deduct
28,
from
I think this-
Kevin and give to you? What do you think?
I think it's worthy of all 28. I mean, he locked it in. He was totally wrong. He could not have been more wrong. He had
You
the
think
most
so?
points out of everybody. Yeah, come on.
Let's take a look then. Who's the
what do we
winner
got?
and who's the sore loser of the season?
So Kevin wins. There he is, and he just came back, and he's triumphant in his return and 5 pounds lighter. Oh, that is great. That is great. And he's got a hat on.
I took from Kevin
It's a
8
fine-
points and
it's a
gave them
fine
to
fucking
Dave.
day for all the Irishmen out there.
I can't
Well,
believe you
Getting the big
You know
win.
what? I may have lost this competition, but I won the one that really matters.
Yeah,
Rashid Shaheed,
You think so?
Dynasty, baby.
I know.
Maintained your dignity, Andrew. That's what's most important.
Yeah, that's correct.
But we are still not done, guys. Kevin has
Wait,
the
wait.
winner.
But by the way, but by the way, just for listeners, Kevin won. He came in first place with 20 points. Ralph came in second place with 9 points, and then I, from way behind, from 0 points, came in third place with a total of 8 points. Andrew,
trust me, you should be
0
grateful.
points.
You should be grateful. You should be
I
grateful.
should be.
And
Yes, I should be. Yes.
and now Kevin, wait,
can you give
guys.
us the
Kevin
victory
has the
speech?
winner.
I was what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Advocate.
Yeah, Kevin, say something. Say something first.
Hi, I'm good at this. But look, I took over. I took over when I predicted that Taysom would throw for a touchdown pass. He
Yes.
would run for a touchdown pass.
Correct.
And he would catch for a touchdown pass.
Correct.
And I haven't looked back ever since.
Yeah, and I mean that you deserve to win the entire season just on that prediction alone.
Did he just say run for a touchdown pass?
He did.
Yes. Yes.
Which is what he said originally.
And-
yes.
Right.
Right.
And now, as the winner, we forgot about this during the season,
I
so
know,
let's
we-
do it maybe right now, guys. You, Kevin, as the winner, can
yeah,
pick
stop
what
doing-
Andrew has
Yes.
to drink next
We're
week.
gonna have to wait until February.
Yes. No. I
Oh.
think we could do a whole episode just on this. I'll be available. You don't tell me when, as long as it's in the evening.
I will do this, but we have to wait till February because I'm in dry January.
No, but I think we can get a whole episode out of just choosing what you should. Right now, just off the top, I'm just just names alone. I'm loving Mongolian Death Worm. Loving that one.
Nothing with tequila. Nothing with tequila.
Oh, but that has tequila. in
Hey,
it.
you
Oh,
don't
I
get to choose, man.
Yeah.
You should have.
Why
You
not?
should have
Oh.
picked better.
All right.
can't
So
do
now,
that.
now I'm
No
exclusively looking at the tequila line.
I'm
okay?
good with anything but tequila.
I'm looking at Redneck Margarita, which is tequila mixed with the default regular Mountain Dew. I'm looking at Gamer's Delight.
Kirby's pissed.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Kirby's piss.
Kirby's. I think
I like farm use diesel.
Okay,
It's got
Kirby's
tequila, but it's just fun. to
Yeah,
say.
Kirby's Piss is tequila mixed with Code Red Mountain Dew.
Well,
sorry.
I got
with
tons of rum.
melon Mountain Dew because it's pink.
I like
I got
Code
tons
Red and rum. The sailor's warning.
I love all the way on the right. If you drink the hard,
yeah, the hard
Mountain Dew,
everything
you mix
is
it with
called
anything.
You're fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna definitely make it the Mountain Dew hard,
Making it rain,
and maybe rum. The only problem is I feel bad. Like I feel like if we mix rum with something, it's gonna ruin rum for you, and then you're not gonna be my rum buddy anymore. I'm gonna lose my rum buddy.
No, you're good. You're good.
Nah, I don't know. If you, I feel like if you have a bad experience with a liquor, it could like you be scarred.
Maybe
for life.
that's why I don't drink tequilas because I had bad experience.
Exactly.
Maybe
So
that's
maybe
the
we should
reason to
stick
do
with
that.
maybe we should stick with tequila.
Yeah.
Reaper.
So we'll do the you fucked up tequila and the Mountain Dew hard.
Gidget's Revenge is Baja Blast and vodka. Wow.
Oh, this is.
I mean, wine and Mountain Dew. I mean that sounds
horrific.
Yeah,
Moscato, no.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll do wine and hard Mountain Dew.
Melon
also appropriately called you fucked
Dave,
up.
chill out. Kevin gets to choose as the winner,
wine
man.
is the gamer's mom,
and he's the quietest one right now.
Wait, hang on, I get to choose it.
Yeah, you get to choose it, Kevin.
No, you're gonna have some input here. We're not gonna let you just have control over this.
Fine,
No
listen.
way.
I've got my two coordinators, Dave and Ralph, that can weigh
That's
in.
right.
But then, as the head coach,
That's
I
right.
will call the play.
That's right.
as I see
Ralph Allen and David Carmichael. Wait, who's our defensive coordinator?
No, he's DA.
No, I know. Who is our defensive
We
coordinator?
have two of them.
Oh, wow. I don't know either of them.
Nielsen and Richard.
Okay. All right. Well, Ralph can be Ralph Nielsen and I'll be David Richard. David Richard sounds like a hockey player.
He does.
For the Canadians.
Like a winger for the Canadians.
I don't know. Anyway, this is fun. This was a lot of fun.
So
we still have to talk about Tulane.
So yeah, Dave, greatest Tulane moment of your entire life?
Greatest moment of my entire life.
It's the biggest win in the history of the football. It's their biggest win ever. Like, there's no bigger win.
Look, I've said this.
Did they win the first Sugar Bowl?
Dude, if it doesn't happen,
the Sugar Bowl was at Tulane.
Dude, it didn't happen. Don't tell me about some win there in 1877.
This was their first major New York Six Bowl in like 80 something years or whatever. No, look, I've been telling people, and obviously there's two sides of this for me. There's the fan side. I'm an alum. I'm a fan. I love football. And then obviously there's the business side. I own a business. I can financially benefit off of the success of the Tulane football team.
Well, this has been a great show.
Yeah, hey, you can leave. I don't give a shit whether you're here or not. I'm recording this for posterity. So when my kids are 30 years old and I die and they want to know about the Cotton Bowl,
I'm gonna edit it out.
Dude,
the funniest thing.
You can make this a separate show on Wednesday when you guys are too lazy and when Ralph's too busy watching the replay on YouTube of 1985 Rams versus Saints. No, look, I
watched that last week. Dave, Saints won 6-0.
I went to the Super Bowl in Miami when the Saints won. I have been to every Saints game that has been played, with the exception of a few COVID because I didn't win the ticket lottery. I have been to many sporting events, different kinds of sports. I really think that this was the best football game that I have ever attended in my life and seen in my life. It was just, and I guess there's some bias there as a Tulane alum and doing what I do, but it was just incredible. And I never thought, I mean, like, if I could sum it up shortly, I would say that, like, I just wanted the Saints. I've been doing this for an hour and a half. I just wanted Tulane. I was expecting Tulane to just make a respectable showing. I didn't necessarily think that they would win, but
You thought it was done when it was 45-30, right? You're like, it's done.
Well, I'll say this. Tulane came back from 3 separate 14-point deficits. This was in the same genre as the 28-3, the 25-3 or whatever it was earlier this season at the Falcons. No, this was great, but no, just at the beginning of the game and even during the game, I just wanted them to not embarrass themselves, to just make a good showing, to show the country that, because I knew the whole country was watching, just to show them that we could keep up, that we belonged. And it's incredible that they went from that to giving the country the greatest comeback literally statistically, you can read up on this, statistically, the greatest comeback in college football bowl history. They were a 0.02% chance to win the game at 4 minutes left. I just saw this today. We beat the most 7-win teams in college football this season, more than any other team in college football this year. We beat more 7-win teams than any other team in college football. This is also the single greatest single season turnaround. We went from 2-10 to 12-2. No team has ever, there's only one team that has ever gone from single digit losses to single digit wins, and that was Miami of Ohio back in 2006 or whatever it was.
It was funny to me.
No team has ever
You mean
had this
double
many
digit losses, the double digit.
Sorry.
But I was going to say this, Dave. It's funny. I did not realize until they mentioned it on the broadcast. USC does not have a special teams coach because Lincoln Riley was like, "Why would I pay a full-time coach for 6 plays a game? That's dumb."
Well, hey, you know what, Ralph? This is the first time I'm hearing you say this, and I'm going to go right now. I have a hot take right now because it happened right in front of me as I was sitting in that stadium at Jerry World, and I think Lincoln Riley would probably pay $3.3 million right now to have that kickoff returner guy not drop that kick off and fumble it out of bounds at the 1 yard line, because that changed the game. Changed the game. The Saints were Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. I'm in podcast. No, I'm not falling apart.
That Smith and Cross is starting to pull.
Tulane, from that point, Tulane got the sack in the end zone. They got their 2 points that they gave up when they didn't get the 2-point and it was all downhill for USC. But no, I just want to say, look, AT&T Stadium was incredible. I know that they're still improving. They're trying to widen. They're going to widen the concourse next year. We're expecting big things, but I don't know.
It's cool.
Jerry World is very cool. It is a testament. It is a modern marvel to the current, sports architecture.
It's so Jerry Jones, it's maximum Jerry Jones.
It's very impressive.
Imagine when Sean Payton is coaching in it next year.
Yeah. Well, I don't have to. I don't know if I have to imagine that, but we had a great time. It was great. He's got a 5-minute walk from across the stadium is a Lowe's Hotel and what they call Texas Live. Ralph, have you been to AT&T Stadium?
I've been. I went when LSU played TCU.
And
10 years ago.
And did you go? Did you hang out at that Texas Live?
Not really. No.
Okay. Well, but a 5-minute walk across from the stadium. And by the way, the Texas Rangers Stadium, their brand new, beautiful little
that is a
stadium.
It looks like a barn.
It doesn't look like a stadium. It's very bizarre looking.
It looks like a barn.
They are both next to each other, and a 5-minute walk across from both of those stadiums is what I have deemed. It's like Champion Square on crack. It's like Buc-ee's on crack. It is like a 3-4 story. There's like 12 bars, 10 restaurants. I think Jerry Jones, I'm assuming, owns all of this. So he's getting your money in the stadium. He's getting your money after you leave the stadium and you go to this thing. He's getting your money before the stadium. But it was great. Tulane fans, I didn't know that we had that many fans. I really did not know that we had that many. I'm serious.
Before we get out of here, how many did y'all bring? How many?
We got a while to go. You all buckle in, Andrew. If you want to leave and go to bed, that's fine. You're in the Eastern Time Zone. You go ahead. I'm not kidding.
So what? How many fans did Tulane bring?
I think that stadium holds 95,000 people. We had our entire side filled absolutely. I looked across at the USC side and I could see empty pockets of seating where people hadn't bought tickets. And when I looked on our side, it was completely full. There were no empty seats. I would say, honestly, we probably brought 40,000 people.
You were saying
I really
20,000.
I know. I mean, if that stadium had 20,000 people, I think we probably brought 40,000 people. I cannot believe it. I was impressed. That was incredible. Obviously, the game went the way. I just want to say, thank you. I've had people, even today. It's been a week now. Today marks a week since the game. I have people that are, they see me, they say congratulations, like as if I played on the goddamn team or I was out there on the field. I was not, but I think they realize how much it means to me and how much it means to my business, and I think that's what they mean when they say congratulations. But I just want to, seriously, I want to thank everybody that went to the game, Green Wave Nation, for showing out. I want to thank Coach Kevin's
Willie
laughing.
Fritz.
I'm serious. Willie Fritz. The Green, yeah. I want to thank Willie Fritz for being an incredible coach. His wife, they're incredible people. His whole family, they're great. I want to thank all the fans who have supported the team, all the fans who have supported Campus Connection. I want to thank Troy Dannon. Like, he was the one who came here, and as this first year, he had to hire a new football coach, a new
feel like
basketball
Dave's giving an Academy Award speech.
I am.
Thanking people.
This is it. Because all of you LSU fuckers are just going to start, because this is it. Because this was LSU's rebuilding year. Because next year, I know y'all are going to go like 12-0 or whatever, and we're never going to hear the end of it. And it's fine. And also because, look, I was upset because the Damar Hamlin thing, it happened the same night that Tulane won, and obviously the coverage.
What?
Yeah.
No, it didn't happen the same night Tulane won.
Yes,
No,
it
it didn't.
did. Yes, it did. What are you talking about? Damar Hamlin. It was Monday Night Football. Damar Hamlin got injured.
There's no way Tulane won that same day.
It was a week ago?
Yes. What are you talking about? Tulane won the Cotton Bowl. Monday Night Football happens. Damar Hamlin gets injured. And yes, are you kidding me?
Ow.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's why Dave wasn't on the show, Ralph. Come on.
Jesus. And wild. And look, Damar, that was a terrible situation. He deserves all the attention, whatever. But I was just, it just kind of took a little bit of the wind out of myself. I wanted to come back to my hotel room and watch all the Cotton Bowl highlights and talk about how amazing the Cotton Bowl was and what an incredible comeback it was and how it was the greatest college football game in history. And unfortunately, the Damar Hamlin situation happened, and we didn't get that. And then, of course, Endymion announces that Willie Fritz is going to be Grand Marshal of the parade, and that's great. And then Endymion goes ahead and they announce that Mel Gibson is also going to be co-Grand Marshal.
Do they have?
Which they've retracted, and he will not be.
Dave is drunk,
but they've taken the
Andrew's using a Theragun.
Yeah, he's using.
Kevin is swiping right.
Andrew's using his wife's quote unquote massage gun, as they say. Yes.
Yeah,
he bought that for his wife so she could quote unquote massage herself. Anyway, I'm finishing it up.
All right, are you done with this? My God,
I am
end
not
this.
Done. No, I am not done.
We're at 2 hours.
Troy Dannon, he's the one. He was the visionary. He saw all this happen. He knew we could do this. He brought all these guys in.
Kevin did line up 4 dates during Dave's acceptance speech.
Roll Wave. I love you all. It was amazing.
This was the time to go take a dump, Kevin.
No,
Really.
really.
It really was. So, by the way,
I'm on the toilet right now, actually.
If you listen to the free version of this show and you stayed all 2 hours, why haven't you signed up yet to become a patron? Because clearly you love us. You should support the show if you listen to all 2 hours. So support the show so we can keep doing this show and doing amazing things. And Thomas can make graphics of me during the show and have all the fun.
Tulane would have put a better effort against Georgia, by the way. I just want to say that. It would have been a closer fucking game.
Guys, in the Patreon only version, I cut out the Tulane speech, guys. Don't worry.
You did not.
I edited out.
So, guys, thanks for joining. Oh no, Thomas,
what about the show MVP?
Show MVP, and do we have a video?
It's been a wild ride, guys. No video, but it's been a wild ride for this show's MVP. Cook Duke and Saint Rabbit battled it out, but in the end, Cook Duke, I think thanks to Dave, he gave him so much time to
that's what I'm saying.
Give 5 gifts up.
Also, I was the one, when we started on this Twitch shit, I was the one that wanted bits. And everybody was like, bits, what's that? I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. And now we're hustling for bits.
Hustling. We're not.
We're hustling for bits.
But people love us. They want to support us.
Yeah.
And they support us with their bits.
All gift subs.
Dave Saints Rabbits is Dave's filibuster. So we got that. Thanks for supporting the show, everybody.
Roll.
Wave. So for Dave, for Kevin.
No, the video. Do we have the video?
No, we don't have
no video.
No. So
goodbye.
For Dave, for Andrew, for Kevin, for Thomas running the show back in Poland. Amazing. Thank you for supporting the show. You're going to support a Saints podcast. You ought to support the one that goes 2 hours a week and wins awards. Woo! We are in off-season form already. Until next week, the bar is closed.
I gotta go again.
Start drinking some water.